All right, let's make a snowman. So obviously for a snowman, we're gonna need 3 spheres. Depending on the size you want to make it, I'll make one 40, 40, and 40. Okay. And then I'll make another 30, 30, and 30. And there's going to be, this is an interesting one because there's a couple little nuances about what's printable and what's not about what we can do here. So everything looks fine so far. One thing about the base is it's very hard to print a sphere because not much of the actual sphere is touching the plate. So a little trick that you can do is you can take a box that's a hole. You can make it nice and short, maybe just 4, make it really big, and put the sphere on top of it. And then when you group it, you'll notice that the sphere, the bottom of the sphere is now flatter. So it still looks good, but now it's very easy to print because a lot of that sphere is now touching the plate. So if very little is touching the plate, like if you were trying to print this, it would be very difficult because only such a tiny little part of that cone is touching the plate. So you want a large amount of surface area touching the plate. So that's why flattening out the bottom of a sphere is usually a really good idea with printing because it makes the print a lot safer. Okay, so I'm going to take this sphere, the next one, I'm going to lift it up. Let's say that one was 40, so I'm going to make this, bring it up 30. It was actually a little less than 40 because I shrunk it, but then we're going to align that and group. And then I'm going to take this sphere, going to bring it up. Some of this is really just kind of eyeing it up and seeing kind of what looks best. So let's see if this height looks okay. Yeah, I think that's a good height. Good. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to group all this stuff together, and it's all perfectly aligned. This is where the align tool is really valuable. Okay, that looks great. Now the next thing we'll make is maybe the arms. So let's say it's 20 by 20 right now. That's way too big. Let's say it's going to be 5 by 5. All right, this should be fine. I'll maybe make it a little longer, 25, but that's up to you. Now, one thing that you can't do with the arms is you can't make the arms, this is where angles really come into play. You can't make the arms like that. Now, if you did, it's not printable because this arm it needs to have something underneath it to print. So right now, when you try to print this part of the arm won't work. So a little cheat that you can do is you can make the arms, but make it kind of going into like that. So you'll be able to notice pretty much now this will work because when the 3D printer starts printing this part of the arm, it'll be going up, and up is safe because it'll kind of have something to hang on to. So these angles are really what you want to see. That's something that is printable. So good. I'm going to just make sure that's aligned. I might have moved it a little bit. So you kind of just want to always make sure everything's aligned. Good. You notice it did move a little bit. I'm going to take this and copy paste it. So now there's another one. I'm going to group these together. Now I'm going to take this, and there's probably a way to flip it. Yeah, I'm just going to rotate it like that. Might be easier. And same thing, I'm just going to kind of push it into the other side. So you can tell that they're arms, but they're safe to print. And that looks pretty good. I might push it in a little bit more like that. Is that good? Sure, that's fine. Okay. Excellent. So we have arms. Now, next thing that we can think about doing is buttons. So with buttons, you can just take these little spheres. We'll make them really small, maybe just 5 by 5 by 5. Probably even go a little smaller. All right, so these buttons, let's say we're going to put one button on here, and I'm going to put 2 buttons. And this is where your use of the arrows will help because you can kind of get them up how you want, and then you can move them. I'll continue on the next video.